All right. So we want to be careful. We want to provide praise and recognition to our superstars, and we want to be careful in doing that. How about training, growth opportunities? Should we do that for our superstars? Absolutely. Your superstars almost always have what is referred to as a growth mindset. Growth mindset is they're good and they want to get better. Better and they want to become the best. They want to learn, they want to take classes, they want to read books, they want to go to workshops, get advanced degrees. And so as a leader, you want to support that growth mindset that your superstars have.
Tim,
yeah, go ahead.
I was just going to say one thing that came to mind when you talked about knowing your team or your leaders is to have some sort of personality assessment, whether it's Myers-Briggs or something like that, to see what they value and what incentivizes their performance versus diminishes. Because it sounds like that person was an introvert versus an extrovert. If she were an extrovert, she would have loved it. But introvert, just let's talk one-on-one.
Very much the introvert. Good catch on that. And Josh, I'm glad you brought that out because what I suggest, not in addition to the assessment, and I won't hire anyone without using an assessment. That's how much I believe in using personality assessments. But secondly, in the job interview, I think it's a good question to ask. I'd say, okay, Josh, in your last job, when you performed extraordinarily, what type of praise or recognition worked best? Oh, I love getting time off, or they gave me a big trophy, or they wrote me a big check. I think that's something that I want to find out as early as possible in terms of praise and recognition. Absolutely. Here's something else interesting. This is based on a study that was done and then written up in the Harvard Business Review. The question was, should we cluster our superstars? Cluster meaning, should we try to allow as many of them to work together as possible? Cluster our superstars.
No, sir, we should never do that.
I'm sorry?
I don't think we should do that.
Well, it's interesting because that was my thinking as well. When I read the article, it seemed like, okay, we should separate our superstars, put one over here, put one here, put one here over here. But what the research found, and they did extensive study on this, is they found in terms of overall organizational performance, you do want to cluster your superstars. For this reason, superstars want to work with other superstars. They want to be around other superstars. They feel challenged by being around other superstars. And there's no better example of that than professional sports today. Absolutely. Look at the NBA, look at Major League Baseball, look at professional football. If you're a superstar, who do you want to be playing next to? Another superstar, right? Superstars want to be around other superstars. And by clustering your superstars, you're forcing them to essentially raise their game, to get better, to improve, versus separating your superstars. Now, there may be times that it makes sense to separate when you want to help another team by putting a strong player on that team. But just be mindful of, in terms of overall organizational performance, makes sense to cluster your superstars, okay? Here's something else to think about. They did another study was done that showed that the average department performance increased by 54% when you add a superstar to that department. Overall performance goes up 54% when you add a superstar. But this was the best part. They found that 90% of that improvement did not come from the superstar. What does that tell you? When we add a superstar to a team, what do the rest of the players, what are they thinking?
It motivates them
to raise their game.
Absolutely. It motivates them. It causes them to raise their game. So if Belen is my superstar and I add her to a team, now everybody's thinking, wow, she's really good. I've got to up my game. I've got to get better. I've got to, because I'm now in a way I'm competing with Bailyn on this team. I've got to get better. Okay.